All right. Hello and welcome to our tour of our pandemic hospital. My name is Dean, also known as Mr. Venderman, and I'm here with a couple of my amazing students that have worked so hard on this project, JC and Nico. And we're going to take you guys on a tour of our pandemic hospital. Um, First of all, when we did this, we decided to we were going to actually do, originally with a group of students, we were going to make like a big university and have it where all the sustainable development goals would be represented inside of it. But fortunately, that kind of fell through. But our team here, we decided, even though we're doing remote learning, we decided to go ahead with the contest and came up with an idea that we think is very timely, and that's a pandemic hospital. So we're basing our pandemic hospital on the Sustainable Development Goals set out by the United Nations. Definitely number one is good health and well-being for all. We've also included affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, sustainable consumption and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate change, and peace, invest in strong institutions. So these were the SDGs that were the driving force behind what we've decided to come up with. Again, our school is Archbishop MC Oneills Catholic High School. My name is Dean Venn, and our location is Richmond, Canada. So when you could take a ride on, we have, again, everything here we're trying to do is going to be sanitized. We're going to have safety as priority. You can pop on a cart and ride in, but I'm just going to, and you can, as you go through, you can look at all of our NPCs, and you'll see a lot of the information will be given to you about what we've done. But this is just going to be a brief tour to kind of, get people accommodated. The three of us are going to walk around, talk a little bit, and kind of give you insight into that. Again, safety is essential. All visitors must report. You can talk to a lot of our NPCs and find out more. We have touchless doors going on. So this is our testing area. Um, so people would come in, and social distancing would be put in to be sanitary. We'd have cleaning robots at all times. Um, we would also have production for the test specialists, and make sure that everybody's looked after. Nico or JC, do you guys have anything to add so far? How about you, Nico? Okay. All right. So these guys have kind of asked me and trusted me in representing their work. So we'll keep going here, but they can always add in. All right. So part of the first floor of the hospital, too, we'd always make sure that supplies were always available and we didn't have to worry about running out. We'd also, food services would also be a number one priority, making sure that we always had fresh food ready for everybody. All right. So this is what we are currently on the first floor, the testing center and the supply and kitchen area, food services. We're going to take a ride up the elevator, and we're going to check out the second floor here. Again, we're going to try to have like buttonless elevators, so try to minimize as much contact and things as possible, so we can make sure everybody's stay here is on that. So we're just going to the second floor, and again, I'm just super impressed with all the. Oops, I went a little bit too far. I'm super impressed with all the work the students have done here. This is their work, and just watching them work as a group, see, they're smarter than me. They're already on the second floor. So, on our second floor, this is our isolation room, and this is for people that basically need the 14 days of isolation. Again, we'd have self-cleaning robots. We'd have healthcare workers, and they would always have the best materials possible, and their well-being would definitely be number one priority. Each room here would have a self-cleaning robot, would have all the necessities that they would need, a big video wall so they can talk to loved ones, and try to make their stay as comfortable as possible. They'd have respirators, masks, face shields, everything that they would need would be in each isolation room with the comfort. Nico or JC, anything to talk about our second floor here where our isolation rooms are? All right. Well, I'm just going by what you guys built and what you guys told me to say. So we'd have food services, we'd have supplies on all of the floors. And again, we would try hard to make everybody stay here as efficient, safe, and comfortable as possible. So we're going to go up to the third floor. And oops, I'm going to go a little bit down. The third floor here would be our intensive care unit for the patients that are a little bit more advanced with any virus, such as what we're experiencing now. Again, we'd have robotics in here to try to help minimize contact, to make sure everything was clean and sanitized 24/7, and nothing was left to chance. Again, each room here on this unit as well would have all the comforts as possible, all the supplies needed, video conferencing so they can be in touch with their loved ones, and hopefully they would get cured and be able to go back. But we would definitely try to make sure everybody's stay here was as safe and comfortable and as as important as needed. One thing with this hospital too, this would be free for everybody. All the costs would be in there. This would we're Canadians. We have universal health care here, and we would not turn anyone away that would need any services. This would be for everybody because we think that's super important, and that's definitely a goal from the Sustainable Development UN Sustainable Development Goals. So here on the top of our hospital, we would definitely have a helicopter landing pad. Nico, great job on the helicopter. I love it. Uh, so here we would also, be able to transport people in from anywhere that needed it, and we'd have beacons so people can see where it is, no matter what the weather conditions are. And we've also tried hard, again, following sustainable development goals, to make this hospital basically self-sufficient and use renewable resources. So we set up a solar power on the roof so we could draw power from there. And what we did over here is we also set up a wind turbine and a water turbine. Again, we want to make this hospital self-sufficient and using renewable resources. Nico or JC, anything to add? Am I missing anything so far? All right. So what the other thing we did is, because we're also at a Catholic school, we know faith is really important, and we're praying a lot for everybody around the world to get safe. We would also include a chapel. This chapel would also be interdenominational, so we'd be able to, uh, trans, with the robot inside, we would also be able to accommodate anybody's faith backgrounds as they wish, so they could also, um, be show their faith as well. So that was a nice little add-on, and the guys put that on. When we re-enter the hospital here, again, what we would do is we try to make everything basically self-sufficient, self-reliant, and we'd also want to take care of our workers, so and their families. So what we've done is we've created a quarters here where the hospital workers would stay, in shifts. Um, again, sanitary measures would always be taken. When you go inside of here, again, each person would get their own room. Uh, they would have all the comforts at home. It'd be self-clearing. Air monitoring would also take in place. Video boards and ability to be entertained and talk to loved ones would always be there. Social distancing would always be a priority in these quarters. Um, a nice little touch. I like what JC did here. We would also have a jacuzzi available that, again, would be social distance, would be a chance for workers to relax, and would be clean and monitored 24/7. JC or Nico, am I forgetting anything? Okay, yeah, let's go there. Do you want to say anything about the conference room? Okay, well, I love what you did here. We'd also have a conference room here. Social distancing would be in there, and so cleanliness would be number one. But workers could come here and they would get the latest updates on how to combat any kind of pandemic, and they would always have the latest knowledge and be able to give the ultimate care to any patient that walked through the doors of our pandemic hospital. And I love these little extra touches that the guy. So the next step that we have, again, oh, am I getting anything, guys? Okay, awesome. So yeah, we're just making the trek across the back of the hospital here. We would definitely want to grow our own food. So we don't have to worry about deliveries. The people that were here would be having organic food that was healthy, and we would try to be as self-reliant and self-sustaining as possible. The food supply would always fresh and clean. Would always Disinfection would always be a priority in that. We'd also have a lab where people can do research and find the latest, try to find a vaccine for any pandemic. We'd have an extensive library. This would be open to everybody in the world, and we would share information freely and definitely try to help reduce the time that any pandemic would put on people. So it would be huge. Past during their stay, we would have a morgue, and we would put loved ones at ease, knowing that they're just if somebody did that, their deceased loved one would be looked after, and at a time when they could have a proper burial, you know, their loved ones would be looked after even in death. And that's something we realize that this is a very emotional time for a lot of people, and we've tried to build in a lot of things inside of our hospitals so people can get the mental health um, needs that they want to, whether it's faith or peace of mind. All of those things are super important. We'd also decided to incorporate a hospital workshop because we want to be self-sufficient. Materials would be going back and forth. We'd have extra robots ready to go, and robot parts. We would have an array of 3D printers that would print respirators, masks, face shields, and more robot parts, and all those types of things. So we try to be as self-sufficient as possible and have things up and going, so there's no time wasted. So every patient here would have utmost care. We also, in our efforts to be self-sustained and follow the Sustainable Development Goals too, we would have a recycling and composting center. Again, we would recycle all the materials. The guys are going to put together a little underground railway here where parts and stuff would be shipped back and forth. So we would always try to use all the materials that we have and get the most out of it. We didn't want to waste anything, especially food as well. We'd have a composting center which would go back and forth with the greenhouse, and we would try definitely to grow organic food and recycle, whether it's plastics or metals or whether it's organic material use and put in. So I'm really impressed with what the guys put together here. I think they've thought of a lot of things. They thought about the Sustainable Development Goals. They thought about people's health, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health is also contained in that. I also proud that we're from Canada, and we have really enjoyed this experience. I hope you enjoyed our tour of our pandemic hospital. Uh, Boys, you guys have anything you want to add to this? You guys are two of the main architects and builders on this. Anything we missed or anything you want to add? Perfect. Nico, do you have? Yeah, sorry. All right, you guys want to come beside me here and we'll take a group selfie and with the Canadian flag in the background. Thanks again for watching our video. I'm very proud of these guys in this tough time of staying at home, doing this remote learning. It's projects like these that can bring us together. And if there's any silver linings in all of this, just how we work together, and it just shows how much more education can be too, and how we can solve problems that are currently happening. So we're really grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this project. And thank you. And we look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing what other people came up with. All right, boys, go Canada. And thanks a lot for watching our video. Anything else, boys? All right. Thank you. And we appreciate your time.